There is a sixth dimension beyond that which is known to man. A multiverse as vast as eternity, as timeless as the Infinity Gems. It is the middle ground between the big two and the indie publishers, between sci-fi and mysticism, and it lies between the pages of the reader's imagination. At the summit of entertainment, the dimension of comics, where a humble service is held. We call this service the Gospel of Comics.
Well, hello everybody, and welcome back to the Gospel of Comics. I am your host, the Church of Failure, and with me, as always, is my trusty co-host, Ayrton McCartney, who is apparently still on strike. How you doing today, buddy?
And good, and was apparently still muted because I forgot there was a 20-second delay on the stream.
Oh well, no, you're fine. You actually you pulled in right at the nick of time.
That's my move.
Yeah, like that literally is. I mean, that's the best we can hope for. I think.
Right at this point.
Yeah, I mean, somebody made I believe it was Cartoon, made a joke that somebody had to be around to get the oven fired, and I was
Yes,
pretty proud of that. My boy Cartoon's
that
got
that
jokes.
yeah that was a good one. I enjoyed that.
So, how's your week been, buddy?
It's been pretty good. I went and did an open mic last night.
Yeah, not a big
So, that was-
demand in the tobacco shop around Thanksgiving.
oh, I mean there is.
Oh, okay, all right.
You know, people need some
Um,
extra chemical motivation to deal with their extended family.
well, I mean, and marijuana is legal in your state, so. But I, uh, I did want to take a moment, and Rackets always says you should lead with your mistakes. And while I don't necessarily think it's a mistake, well, first off, I reset the stream title to call it the Gospel of Turkey, and for some reason, um, YouTube decided that I needed a new stream key for that. So I apologize for being even later and gayer than I previously announced I would be. Peter Puffin Gay over here. Go ahead and clip it. But I I did want to apologize for that, and I also wanted to take a moment and apologize to you guys that the content lately has not been what you're used to. We haven't done as many reviews or anything, but I'm gonna be completely honest. I have not had time to sit down and read anything in I don't know, probably 2 weeks because man, the holidays are fucking busy.
Yeah.
So, oh goddamn, Matt Christie, you know I can't read that out loud. But anyway, I did want to say, hopefully next week, the well, hopefully by this weekend, the reviews and everything should get back into a bit of normalcy. And I really, really, really wanted to review Chew Volume 2 tonight. But again, not having time to sit down and read a 6-issue trade. And that's a little gratuitous. I've had the time, I just didn't give it to that particular task because I'm still human, even though I'm a
Right.
building. Um, so I did, however, notice something interesting take place this week, and I figured we would talk about that and link it into the higher overall discussion of piracy and what it means in today's culture, how it's evolved. Um, I'm sure a lot of you
Should I get my eye patch on for this?
are, um, at some point in time, I feel like we've all illegally downloaded a song, which obviously, because YouTube is going to make me say it, I do not encourage. Piracy is bad, okay? Pay for the music or watch it on YouTube with your YouTube Red subscription. But anyway, we've all downloaded a song off the internet that we probably shouldn't have. Maybe even we've gotten our hands on I don't know, a post review copy of the game we wanted to play. But all in all, I feel like in today's environment, piracy is something that's looked at with a completely different light than it might have maybe used to be. Um, so I thought that might be an interesting discussion to have tonight. Now,
Yeah.
I will say we do have call-in set up. We've already got somebody set up in the waiting room. We've got a live chat set up. So if you want to say anything in the Discord that gets brought up on
We
show,
getting all fancy up in here.
I clicked a couple of buttons, I typed a few words, and goddamn if I'm not feeling accomplished. Matt Christie is out there rebuilding engines while I'm over here just like figuring out Discord and thinking, man, I'm the shit. Most humble person I've ever met on the internet is just like, yeah, I built a supercomputer today that can hijack the world's nuclear capabilities, and I'm rebuilding the engine of an '84 Ford Escort right now, and and I'm sitting over here like I drilled some holes through plastic today. Ha!
I mean, to be fair to you, an '84 Escort was basically held together by duct tape and baling wire
I
when
think
they
you're
came off of the production line.
I think you're thinking of a '76 Eldorado.
That's possible.
um, little churches are in the background attempting to take over the show, so you guys will have to bear with me on that for a moment.
Like they do every time.
Yeah.
Oh man, we have Lady Weebs in the chat.
Lady Weeb, how's it going? Captain Weeb, Lady. I mean, I know I said I wasn't going to give out, just gratuitous wrenches, but I think Lady Weeb gets a wrench, right?
Yeah, for
I mean, just
for
guilt
the
by
fact that she's.
association.
Yeah, exactly.
Guilt by association with Captain Weeb. I mean, when this show blows up and takes all of PewDiePie's subscribers away, I still want to be able to see Lady Weeb in the chat.
Right.
So.
And apparently Danielle likes the new nickname for him.
Oh yeah. So. You Ford Escort. Matt Christie, don't you it too much. That was the car that put me in the hospital for 6 months. It was
all of a sudden.
It still had a steel frame, buddy. That thing fucked me up.
and overnight, sales of '84 Escorts just go through the roof after that.
Absolutely. You can take out a building in a single bound. Fuck yeah.
It's like those stories of the old people thinking they're in reverse, but they're in drive, and they just drive through a McDonald's.
Oh no! Literally, the old woman's explanation to the cop was she was putting makeup on and didn't see me
while smoking a cigarette and drinking a cup of coffee.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But enough about me. Let's look at the show here. Before we get started, our buddy Rob Liefeld has apparently
which I'm still not blocked by. Fucking Comic Book Hut blocked me right away.
Well, that's because he's a massive bitch, right?
Right. That's true.
I mean, that's just because he's just like the absolute worst example of what a human being should be on Twitter. But Rob Liefeld is a close second, at least. But he posted.
And second is the first loser.
Yeah, he posted on Twitter this morning, which I always recommend against for Rob. Maybe when you have a thought and you want to share it with the world, just don't. But he's responding to an article by Geeky Rant. If we get time at the end of the show, we might look through that. But he's responding to an article by Geeky Rant that says Warner Brothers doesn't think Superman is relevant to modern audiences. Which, I mean, just based on the headline, just based on that reading, let's take a minute and just examine that. How do you feel about that statement? Do you think that Superman is relevant to a modern audience?
Personally, I think modern audiences could do with bringing back the classic Superman. Like the perfect Boy Scout, the all around American, like that golden Silver Age Superman. Personally, but we see stories of
You
of furries
you think the
raping a
classic
15-year-old.
you think the classic Superman should come back?
Yeah, yeah. Those the ideals that are represented in the stories of the classic Superman era, I think, is something we could use in today's modern age.
Well, not that I disagree. I just don't think there's a market for it. I think the market's become too saturated with the demand for deconstructionism and gritty, grimy, dirty superheroes that Superman. I mean, I have to agree with the article. Superman just kind of feels out of time, out of place with a modern audience. Um, if you if you look at Superman, wait, what? Who downvoted the video? What did I do? Oh, well, whatever. You can downvote it if you want to. YouTube definitely does not increase your analytics for downvotes as well as upvotes. I mean, if you you know who downvoted the video? It was probably motherfucking comic book cuck.
Probably.
That giant pussy bitch. Get your ass on this fucking show, you idiot.
Yeah, don't just sit there being a little
Fucking
bitch on the
fucking
sidelines, just
unblock me.
downvoting away.
Unblock me and DM me, you son of a cuck. Unfucking block me on Twitter and DM me. I will get you into this Discord and you can come on right now.
You know, you don't even have to unblock him. Throw the Discord link in the chat. You can just hop in the Discord right now.
Yeah, you know what? Yeah, absolutely. You know what? I'm gonna go ahead and do that. Discord, you got 24 fucking hours. Let's see here. Invite. There we go. There's the invite link. We're gonna copy that motherfucker. There we go. There we go. There you go. You downvoted the fucking video, you bitch. Click the link and get in the fucking chat. Jump in the waiting room. I'll bring you in. Fucking bitch. Anyway, where was I? I just don't think that Superman. Yeah, I just don't think that Superman really hits the mark with current audiences. Just because, like you said, he is the classic Boy Scout. He is, and I get that we do need that all-American symbol of hope and everything, but he would kind of have to evolve with the times because modern storytelling doesn't really foster the idea of a Mary Sue, and in the grand scheme of things, Superman is a male Mary Sue. I don't know if there's a word for that, but
Gary Stu.
Yeah, Gary Stu. But he's invulnerable. He has one weakness, which is a green rock. Which, I'm sorry, if you have X-ray vision and you get within 1,000 yards of somebody with a piece of kryptonite on them, that's your fucking problem. Oh, but yeah.
What I would love to see though is a comic book with like Superman and Trump like playing golf and like getting a beer or something.
Oh yeah, absolutely. That would be fantastic. But let's see. I hate that. There's nobody in the waiting room, Ayrton.
Oh, imagine my shock.
What? What? I don't understand. Got the link out there. He's obviously here listening to the show. Why is he not in the waiting room? Could it be because he's a punk bitch? Oh no.
Probably. Probably, but Novel Bros challenging Rob Liefeld to a fight in the show chat. So.
Is he gonna fight IRL?
Yes.
Scottish Randbot 2020. That's it.
Oh, this show.
Oh no, I changed your nickname too because I recently discovered I could do that, and I'm drunk on power. The funny thing is, Matt Christie, is Superman is Kryptonian, so this great American hope thing, like it was the ultimate immigration ideal, is that someone literally not of this world could come to this planet and land in America and immigrate perfectly into society, have a full time job, become the ear, the bite to entrance anybody anymore.
I think with the proper writer, you could do it. It would take some finessing and a lot of work, but I think it could be done.
Well, yeah, but I don't think you would get away with like I don't think action number one would fly in today's market. I think we're a little too highty toity, and charging $5 for a book, just a guy that can he he's literally perfect, and people don't want to read about that.
Well, yeah, lower your goddamn prices.
Yeah,
Get a good writer.
no shit.
None of this, teen rating stuff. You could. It would be the best way to recapture that younger audience that the industry needs.
You know what this conversation has told me?
A good writer.
Go ahead. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. Go ahead.
Oh,
good writer and
lower the price. Good writer, lower the price, and make it an all ages book with those wholesome ideas. And there's a perfect way for DC to not die in the next 10, 15 years.
Yeah, make sure AT&T doesn't sell them.
Well, I mean, my offer of $6.37 still stands.
I'll even chip in. However much we make on Patreon in November, I will offer for DC.
I don't know. That seems like a little overshooting the market value.
All time, which I don't disagree. Without Superman, there would be no other costumed hero chronologically. I mean, Butterfly Effect, yes, absolutely. Mask heroes would have probably been written. But I think the medium of comic book literally has to get down on his knees and unzip Siegel and Schuster and take it all to thank them for creating what would be the template for every superhero to come forward.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
So, unlimited potential. And I think that's kind of the problem, Rob. Yes, he has unlimited potential. I mean, literally his power set has just exponentially increased over the years. Did you know, Ayrton, that at one point Superman couldn't actually fly?
I did. I don't know where they decided to just throw flight in just for shits and giggles, but...
So, anyway, moving on. He deserves to be number one. I'm sure you think you deserve to be number one. And in fact, don't you have a fucking book to fulfill, Rob Liefeld? The fuck are you doing on Twitter bullshitting about Superman when you can't get a fucking comic book made in 6 years? What is wrong with you?
Yeah, maybe you should use the time you're tweeting to finish your comic book.
And that was a heavy critique of Ethan Van Sciver, which is why I pull it out now. Why do people accept this kind of horse shit from somebody who's 6 years late, but a guy's 6 months late, and they're like, you should just stop living until you fill your comic book. How'd you like my SJW impression? Was that pretty good?
That was pretty good.
Okay. I saw an Onision video yesterday. He taught me everything
I know. The fact machine.
Onion boy. But here's the kicker. Here's what Ayrton said in our discussion right before the show started. This was brought to my attention. But here's what Ayrton said that really just set me over the edge and said, you know what? We're going to talk about this before we talk about anything. The last sentence of this tweet, which is an improper sentence. Thank you for pointing that out, Matt Christie. The motherfucker needs to learn punctuation if he's going to write comic books.
Maybe that's why his book is it's taking a long time to do a grammar and spell check on it.
Probably. I had to do all the text over because the motherfucker just literally had 45 pages of re.
The entire dialogue.
Yeah, well, I mean, but here's the last part. Superman deserves to be number one, and would be under my pen. Rob, buddy, buddy, go ahead and just
What?
take the tube that's connected to your asshole out of your mouth so that you can stop huffing your own farts for just 2 seconds. And think about what you're saying. And again, my best advice to you, friendly advice, completely 100%, no malice whatsoever. The next time you have a thought and you're tweeting it out, just look at it before you hit send. Look at it, read it, and if you have an ounce of rationality left in your body, go, nah, delete. So, anyway, that was.
Except the problem is this tweet's now immortalized.
It
on
is.
This show.
It is,
so.
and I hope that never changes. But I just wanted to bring that up, and like I said, if we have time before the end, I doubt we will. I'm not even going to bullshit because I didn't even realize, but we are 30 minutes into this show. Nick Rackets goes live in an hour and 15 minutes, so we still have a lot to go through with this piracy. So
we do.
The conversation. Go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, and I had something at the end of the show that I wanted to throw to the chat. Having a discussion at work, I wanted to get the chat's opinion.
Why don't you give it to them now? Don't be a cuck. Don't be not a cuck. Don't be a tease. I'm sorry. I was still thinking about comic book cuck.
I mean, if you want to go right in the gate with this one.
I mean, I don't. Hold on. Maybe there's somebody in the waiting room. No. Nobody in the waiting room.
Okay. Novel Bro might want to hop in for this one.
Okay.
But so it came up through a series of events at work today. If given the chance, would you eat out the queen just to say that you did it?
Absolutely.
Okay. That's 100%. What I said too. Yeah, that's totally what I said. Everyone else is like, what are you talking about? No, I wouldn't do that.
Absolutely. In hopes that she married me and made me the king. Because then I would arrest and jail Andrew because he's a fucking degenerate.
Your aspirations are a lot bigger than mine. I would just do it just to say that I did.
No, man, you got to have bigger goals. There's always got to be an end game. Didn't you hear? Oh wait, I'm not even going to mention that name on this show. I don't want to get kicked off of YouTube. Let's just say that a very important man that occasionally shows up on the kill stream said that you always have to have an end game, guys. You can't just go through life groping and not have an end goal.
That's fair. But what do you guys in the chat think? Would you guys do it?
Oh well, they got a few seconds to call in, and there's another clip for me going. Yep, I would totally go down on that crusty bitch. 100%. It's the queen. Why wouldn't you?
Right. Right.
Just to say I did, I'd do it because of my fucking dude. Novel Bro gets it.
Well, see, and the best part is, it's probably been so long since anybody has that she would think you were amazing at it, even if you were just kind of like lazily, like you're licking an ice cream cone.
Look at the chat.
Like
Stop talking and look at the chat. Just stop talking and look at the chat. Oh, Novel Bro would go and be above and beyond for service. Oh man,
eat the booty crack like it's a Scooby snack, Novel Bro.
that's correct. You know, what? A long time ago in a galaxy far, far away, this used to be a show about comic books. I just want to remind people of that in case they forgot. Oh god. Just gonna change the name of the show to Shit Posting Live.
And occasionally comic books.
Oh god. So now that we've gotten that out of the way, thank you for that, Ayrton.
You're welcome.
I lost my train of thought now. That was good. All right. So yesterday, there was some interesting things happening on Twitter, and I know how some of you guys feel about Twitter. I feel the same way. Yet I'm pretty sure that I'm just addicted at this point. So what are you gonna do?
Yeah.
But there was a lot of talk between Ethan Van Sciver and this, I guess, chick. I mean, her quote
Never assume
unquote.
these days.
Well, her quote unquote screen name was Vicky, but her quote unquote profile picture was that of like this ugly ass malnourished dog. And not to take shots at Pupper. Pupper did nothing wrong, but I saw this going back and forth for hours, like 4 or 5 hours. They went back and forth about piracy and libraries. I'm like, what the fuck is this about? So, being me, obviously, I'm going down the rabbit hole. I'm like, well, I gotta see what this is about, because I can talk about it on the show. But, I'm looking at it, and it all comes back to an article by Bleeding Cool, which, is where I think 99.9% of America's problems actually come from. Bleeding Cool. So let's go ahead and get that pulled up on screen. Do you need a link for that, Ayrton? Or you got the stream up?
I got the stream up. It'll
Okay.
take a sec to pop up on screen.
All right. Well, PSA: 100,000 readers are probably not pirating your indie comic book. So, we already see Jude Terror is the author, and he's going to come back up later. So, it's good that we go ahead and get that in here.
Did you say Jew Terror?
No.
There's a D in it.
Adolf Hitler did not write this article.
Okay.
Jude Terror, for those of you at home. It's on the screen. Ayrton, if you're actually watching, you fucking asshole.
Yeah, I see. Yeah, I see.
English is my second language. I'm a Southerner. Comic piracy is a hot topic this week, and understandably so, since a lot of comic book creators have been discovering tens of thousands of people appear to be pirating their comics based on the view counters of various comic piracy sites. So first off, let's just stop and take a minute to examine that compound sentence.
We're going grammar Nazi up in here today.
Well, I mean, between Bleeding Cool and Rob Liefeld, I mean, I'm out here shitting punctuation like it's nobody's business. But
somebody give these people a goddamn comma.
Somebody give these motherfuckers a goddamn thesaurus. Fucking spell check.
They forgot to reference their MLA handbook.
That's right. They forgot to reference their MLA fucking teaching before the college. I'm sorry, I didn't say that out loud. But I'm not shitting on this guy, because I think this guy actually has an honest take. But here's the thing. We've talked to a lot of comic creators on this show, indie comic creators and whatnot. And I've asked them some really deep and like personal questions about their habits and whatnot and their process of creating indie comics and all of that.
Yeah.
How many of them have ever mentioned monitoring piracy websites?
I think the count on that one, Alex, is 0.
Huh. That's the correct answer, but you didn't form it in the form of a question, so get the fuck out of
God
here.
damn it.
So yeah, the thought of anybody, like, I can understand, like, maybe like checking in on it every now and again, like the price of Bitcoin when you don't own any. But the thought of anyone monitoring the overall amount of traffic to a specific page on a comic piracy website just seems a little idiotic to me.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It just takes me aback, but it's a shocking thought. Could an exponentially higher number of people really be pirating your comic rather than buying it? What if even a small percentage of those readers could be converted to customers by stopping piracy? Now, wait a minute, Jude. I seem to remember a couple of even federal laws being put. You remember like the 13-year-old that supposedly got like picked up by law enforcement and the FBI for pirating music on LimeWire or some shit?
Oh yeah, he downloaded like hundreds of thousands of songs or something like that.
Yeah.
Like, it was an outrageous amount.
Yeah, and you realize he never like spent a day in jail or anything like that. Like that there were never any formal charges. He just got picked up and shit
Yeah.
scared out of him.
Right.
But
Well, I
anyway.
also remember Weird Al released a song around that time that he didn't actually release on a CD, and it was called "Don't Download This Song."
Well,
and you had to like go to his website, click a link, and it took you to like a pirating website to download.
Was that anything like System of a Down? Don't pirate this album.
I think it was around that same time. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, Napster was a thing throughout the '90s, so
Yeah.
we had like 18 different versions of Napster, and then they eventually wanted you to pay for the service of being able to download songs from the central database, and I was like, you fucking lost the plot, mate. I'm just gonna go over here to Kazaa and take my computer viruses like a real man.
Oh, because you would spend 7 hours downloading a 3-minute song and give your computer every single form of cancer.
Every AIDS there was. This is totally outrageous and probably the biggest problem facing the comic industry today. So they got a couple of quoted tweet from 10 Bandits here. Someone who I would welcome on the show. How do you get your stuff taken off of a pirate site? Crowded's up to 95,000 reads on one I just looked at while I'm completely broke. Seriously, 95,000 reads over 10 issues. What the ever-loving fuck? We've already had to shorten the book due to a lack of money. And then you got Jerry Erskine. In 2008, Virgin Comics released a print-only version of Dan Dare. It was pirated and downloaded 120,000 times on one site. While I agree that not every download was a lost sale, we only sold 12,000 physical copies. Virgin Comics went out of business. Actions have consequences. While there were plenty of online pirates who loved the book and wanted more, it didn't help. The second series by Pete Milligan was scripted, and I was ready to start. Then Virgin Comics closed. People lost their jobs. For me, $24,000. Please, tell me about your entitlement. And we got Jim Zub. Remember 6 months ago when I mentioned the comic piracy numbers were easy 20 times legitimate buyers, and it was a real problem? Sometime yesterday, a bunch of other comic pros looked closer, saw the numbers, and the cold chill of it really hit. Yup. Now, now wait a minute. Slow down a little bit and warm up, folks. The fact is, those numbers that show up in the views counter on piracy sites are most certainly vastly inflated. Something most people wouldn't have a reason to know unless they've had some experience in running a website, which it so happens we have a lot of. Oh, again, take the tube out of your mouth that's connected to your asshole, bleeding cool, and stop huffing your own farts for just a second. I'd like to see fucking what's his fucking name? Jude Terror. That sounds like a goddamn comic book character, doesn't it? Like I would
really
read
does.
I would read a comic book about Jude Terror.
See, I'm picturing the soundtrack to the comic book. I know
it's all Judas Priest. Every bit of it, Judas Priest. Oh
no,
there
I
is
was
somebody in
picturing
the
a heavy
waiting
metal
room.
version of
However,
Hey
they are
Jude.
not a pussy or a bitch.
Well, that's unfortunate or good.
That's great because I wouldn't want to talk to
Okay.
that piece of shit anyway. However, Matt Christie, you're on the Gospel of Comics. What's going on, buddy?
Hello there.
How's it going?
Good. Just let me mute the stream. There we go.
There we go.
Proper radio etiquette.
Yeah, he knows. He's a kill stream veteran. He understands. By the way, YouTube, the Gospel of Comics does not endorse or promote the Ralph Retort. Every weekend, or every weekday night at 9:30 p.m. Eastern on DLive.tv/the Ralph Retort. Again, that is DLive.tv.
Definitely not DLive.
No.
DLive.tv. The Ralph Retort. So
yeah, not happening.
Yeah, we do not support those guys whatsoever. They're not streaming right now, and we definitely encourage you to go check them out. We don't encourage you to check out Killstream.live. Their new website that they just launched.
Never do that.
You know, if you're based in Redfield, of course. But anyway, have you been following the piracy talk that we've started up here, Matt?
Oh yes, of course I have. See, am I still coming in here?
Yeah, you're good. We'll tell you.
Okay, because you guys are breaking up a bit, but that's okay. It's probably freaking Discord.
Discord is canceled.
So, I've been, in the pirate scene for a long, long time, right? Like since the beginning, like during the IRC relay chats and stuff like that. So,
getting zip files off of 4chan and shit.
Filling your 200 megabyte hard drives full of stuff, cool shit, and
mainly porno.
But no, this was all programs and stuff.
Well,
that's
just
was relatively expensive, and you didn't know if it was going to run on your stuff. Like,
that was
run this.
That was a deep cut for people that didn't know the internet when it was first created. The internet literally exists because they had to expand the network to handle all the traffic of people sharing scanned images of pornography.
Yeah, and cats. Fucking cats.
Well,
that's the thing.
I mean, people love pussy, Matt Mechanical.
Yeah, it's all relative, isn't it?
I mean, we're basically ancient Egypt again, right?
Yeah. So this developed over time where people were just, getting things. There was the pirates themselves are really just in it as it's a challenge to them. Hey, can I crack this piece of software? It's they have groups. The scene is what it's called. That they're trying to one up each other. It's kind of friendly banter, but they'll call each other out on their shit, right?
Yeah.
They will let you know. Hey, no, you didn't crack that properly. You cheesed out, bastard. Fucking do it right, like we did, kind of thing. It's like smack talk between them, right? But they do it for that reason, right? Now, I will download pirated games, but you know what? I actually buy those games. And if they've got,
if you like them,
if they're so loaded with DRMs that I can't even fucking play them properly, I'll go to a pirate and get the game with DRM free. Done. I still own the game. I'm just happen to be using the pirated version because it doesn't have a DRM in it. It's clean. It's done. There's none of this bullshit. There's no communication back to the motherland. You know,
Well,
there,
that's actually the same premise of, and I was going to get to this, and we might even bring it back up when we get into the actual tweet side of things. But you know, I don't know. Obviously, nobody in the chat, I believe, was alive in 1937 when Superman was born, quote unquote. But back in those days, and even so far back as like the early 30s when comic books first like really got
You know,
popular. Go ahead.
the Queen of England she was born in 1936. Anyways.
Are we done? Let me just
and that's
mute.
For
when
now.
he killed him, Your Honor.
Let me just mute Ayrton because I can totally do that. See now he can't talk. Ha 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 ha. Again, I'm drunk on power, Ayrton. I'm sorry.
Are you sorry though?
No, but I'm actually drunk on alcohol. So, um, but back in
That
the
makes more
30s, when you would buy a comic book from the newsstand for 5 cents, you would go and you would hang out in your treehouse with everyone else that might. Hold on. Discord always sets that automatically for every avatar that isn't its own. Forget how to do so, sadly. Is
Yeah,
Matt
he's
coming?
talking about the volume level.
Yeah.
He's talking about the volume level, so he can turn my volume up in Discord.
No, I did. I just wanted that. I turned you up to 120%, so you should be coming in great now. I mean, you come in better for me. Even.
I mean, I'm surprised I even need a fucking microphone talking to you, like, because I got a really loud voice, dude. So I'm surprised you can't hear me in the
actually
south.
really quiet.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Okay.
That's amazing.
Danielle says you sound okay. If you have a microphone and you have a do you have the puffy thing over it? I forget what it's called, but it's basically the same thing they put on an earbud. The popping
Well, I have
filter.
a puppy that's on me, but it's not on the microphone.
No. I mean the microphone. Does it have
she's-
a pop filter or whatever? That
No.
foamy thing?
It's just the little thing that comes out of the Logitech headset.
Oh, that thing. No, that thing's
Yeah,
quiet as fuck.
little boom mic.
That thing's quiet as
Okay.
fuck. You got to go into your microphone settings on Windows
Yeah,
and
okay. Just
and
a
fix
second
that.
here.
Oh no, you're good now. But maybe after the call you go in there and you look at that, or after the show I'll get on with you and I'll show you how I did it. But yeah,
Yeah, no,
I had to go through and boost
I
mine.
know how it's done. I just don't want to.
Yeah,
I just don't want to spike the fucking levels or anything. So
right. Not yet, but after this call, when it'll reset you to 100%, or when you get out of the call or whatever, and it resets you to 100%, go in there and boost it 10 decibels and pop it up to 100%.
yeah, I just did, but I don't like to. I don't like to hit those high levels. Like I'm looking at the levels right now as I'm talking. So I
Well,
try
you
to
gotta
make sure
you
that I'm
gotta
not.
keep in mind that OBS like mutes you like 20%.
Yes.
Like when
I
you're
realize
filtering
that.
any audio through OBS, it just mutes the shit out of it. I don't know why. Like there's
Yeah,
no
but
explanation for it.
if I'm putting out too much, it'll come across as garbly as well. So
Oh well, you sound good now.
You want to make sure. Yeah. Okay.
But
Okay.
no, what I was getting at though, in the 30s, people would go and buy their nickel comic, right?
Yeah.
And they would go back to their clubhouse with their 18 friends, and everybody would basically pass their comic book to the left as soon as they were done reading it. And everybody in that room got to read the same comic book because there are all 18 books for 5 cents because they all bought one and brought it to the clubhouse.
Yeah.
And then every one of those little motherfuckers would go back to the newsstand and sell their 5-cent comic book for 2 cents towards their next comic book. And they would rinse and repeat that. So the newsstand was in on it and the kids were in on it. Because the newsstand had the ability to return books that they didn't sell, quote unquote, for the cost that they spent on it back then.
Yeah.
So is that not also a form of piracy? Because
Yeah,
they're
like
buying it to sell it. They're selling it 4
how
and 5
dare I let
times.
somebody read my book,
Right.
that I bought,
I commented on the thread that I spoke about earlier with Ethan. Like, I've let 3 people that have never read a comic book before read Cyberfrog. All 3 of them now follow Ethan Van Sciver on Twitter, YouTube, or both, and one of them has gone so far as to order a sketch variant of Cyberfrog because they wanted their own copy of the book, and that is the usual outcome of good content being pirated.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's almost like stuff isn't good enough to pirate it and buy it these days.
Right.
Could that maybe be the
But
problem?
yeah, Ayrton, you've got it. You've got it, Ayrton.
Well,
That's exactly it.
the
And the
yeah.
thing is that if like I download a lot of crap because I'm like, is this gonna work? Is this gonna be okay? Am I gonna like this, or am I gonna have to return it and go through all this big hassle of returning this shit because it's garbage?
Well,
So I'll download something, I'll install it, and I'll go. You know what? This works. I like it. I'm enjoying this. Cool. I get online. I throw my fucking credit card on there, and I buy the fucking thing.
right.
Done.
Or
Right?
well,
It's like
and let's
piracy to me is like it's just a free fucking trial, which
it's
they
the review
used to
copy.
do back in the day.
Yeah. Yeah, you get like a 2 week, or you get like a demo disc, or my
Games
favorite
you used to get a demo, which was like 2, 3 levels of the
my favorite
complete game.
my
Yeah.
favorite fucking thing in the
Not a
world was
fucking not a
Game Informer
bug-ridden piece of shit.
back when you would get those fucking PlayStation demo CDs and Game Informer.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh
You'd
yeah.
buy the magazines. You'd buy
Uh-huh.
all this.
Yeah, you spend like $5 on the magazine, which was doing a kickback to the studio that put the demo disc in the fucking thing. And
Exactly.
you would get a demo disc with like 10 minutes of like 5 different games and videos for other games that were coming up, and information on games that you already owned, back when you could go to the store every other week and buy a new game because they were like 10, $15 and that was your weekly allowance. But
Yeah,
nowadays
yeah.
they're making game, like they're looking at gaming the same way they're looking at comics. Oh, our audience is only adults who are going to pay 80 fucking dollars for a game or $8 for a comic book. No. DC cannot establish a price limit of $8 on classic characters and expect to have the success of an indie crowdfunded comic that can charge $25 for the same amount of content. That just won't happen because the
It
industry, the
won't. It
retail
won't happen.
side, will not bear the brunt of that kind of cost. I cannot show you a retail outlet on the planet that sells comic books that is willing to pay $5 to put a book on a shelf to not sell.
Fuck, of course not. Nobody will. That's ludicrous. Like,
Well, that's what DC
they've
wants them
got
to
their head
do.
so far up their ass. They're fucking. They're they're turning themselves inside out, and they can't figure out why.
Well, that's what DC wants them to do, though. That's the thing. DC wants the industry. DC wants the comic book stores that are already having to survive by selling magic cards and Pokemon cards and sports cards and candy and sodas and fucking pop figurines and magnets and superhero t-shirts. They want the comic book store that has turned into an everything but comic store, or an everything plus that little corner of comic books over there. They want them to bear the brunt of an item that costs $5, their cost, with a sticker price of $8 on their shelf for months in and months out, only to go in a back issue bin and be sold for $1 later.
Yeah, and the poor asshole that's selling it loses all that money.
Right? Yeah.
He's
No.
not making that dollar.
No. Absolutely not.
He's losing $4. So what's the point? He doesn't. It's a non-starter at that point.
Well, here's the thing though. People like you and me, and people that are actually willing to buy a product, have no problem pirating a quote unquote review copy of that product, because especially like with your example of games, uh, ever since the 90s, the late 90s, back when I used to play like Roller Coaster Tycoon and Sim Tower and shit, right? How many times did you
Oh, that was
go?
the shit.
How many times did you go to, and everybody in the chat's going to laugh, but this was a real thing, and you can back me up, Matt. How many times did you go to Office Depot and buy a game to come home and find out that the specs of your computer wouldn't handle it? And that store didn't take returns on
Exactly.
open product.
No, as soon as
Computer,
you
you
opened it,
couldn't.
that was yours.
Yeah, you couldn't return computer games because you
Yeah.
could pirate them.
Yeah, no, it's fuck you, motherfucker. That's yours. You bought it. You opened it up. Oh, disc is scratched. Fuck you. Whatever.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, I mean, my father and I, God rest his soul, he and I devised a plan one year where we went and spent like $300 on computer games, which from the late '90s, early 2000s, that was a fuckload of computer games.
Yeah, I know.
And
Like
we went
more than
home.
more than an escort full.
Yeah, and we went home and used our CD burner to make everyone copies for Christmas because that's the way it worked back then.
Yeah.
And then so I mean, we had shit like all the Sims game. I think Sim Ant was the most popular game at that month's time. You remember when Simcopter and Sim Ant came out?
Yeah.
But we
Like for instance, just recently, Jedi Fallen Order. I figured, okay, well, let's try it. Let's see if EA's got it together. No, they fucking don't. It's
no,
another shit console port. I
right.
can't do anything in it. I can't bind any fucking keys. There's like zero graphic options for shit
Hmm.
in there. I'm like, what's the fucking point? At least I didn't fucking spend $80 on a game and then fucking have to try and return it. Steam is pretty good about it now that EA's gone back to Steam.
Yeah,
I got to admit, Steam is pretty good about returns, but I don't want that on my record. I
right.
don't like returning shit there.
No.
I want to be the good guy. I want to be the good customer there. The guy that's always
Well,
buying games and always
and
keeps them.
I think that that's what we
And
all want. We all want to be good consumers. We all want to support things that deserve our support. But the
Unless you're
entitlement,
Karen.
well, the entitlement of our society and the entitlement of the industry has started to butt heads. Because the
and
industry has become so entitled that it says, you know what, you, the consumer, don't deserve an opportunity to try it before you buy it anymore. If you don't buy it, then you're a bad guy. And the consumer has gone, well, we're not going to buy something that we don't believe in, and we have no way of believing in it because all we have is this doctored ass fucking 2 minute
is your
video.
fucking word and a bunch of fucking trailers. Yeah.
Yeah,
And nobody wants that. Like, what about some gameplay? Oh, that's what fucking E3 is. It's just a bunch of fucking cinematic fucking trailers, is all it is. And, everybody, including Jeff Keighley, sucking everybody else's dick on the whole show. And it's a joke, right? Like,
oh,
I do have to give it to CD Project Red because at least they're like, what did they say? Oh, fuck. Just trying to think of how they put
oh,
it.
hold, hold on.
They're
I
like,
got.
oh, we don't put DRMs in our games because we go to these sites where people are talking, well, just pirate it, and everybody says, why would you do that? They don't have DRMs, so just buy the game. No, they're a good company. Buy the game. And they
I,
say they're not even worried about pirates, so they don't run DRMs.
I actually have breaking news in the Gospel of Comics Discord.
Uh-oh.
Hold on one second, guys. We gotta bring this up. This is super important here. Apparently, it has been leaked in the Discord that Matt has the most adorable pupper. Look at that. Look at that on the screen right there.
Oh,
His Jack Russell terrorist.
She She's so pretty though. She got cow spots. Look at that.
Holly Holstein.
She's a good pupper. Like she's best girl, and not in a perverted way. I'm sorry.
She is a good little pupper.
I've yelled too much. I figured we needed something to up the algorithm. Look at the adorable pupper. She's nuts.
Here's another one incoming. This is her with her big friend.
Oh. Well, not enough of her in that picture. Is that your other pupper?
I know, it was. No, that's
okay.
that's her old friend, her friend who passed away a while back. That's
poor.
Taboo. She's a big pit bull.
Well, I've got another picture of her of just her face here. We'll bring that one up. I don't want to bring down the chat here with past
You
puppers.
doxing my dog.
I am. Please
Hey,
don't
care,
please
buddy.
don't
I
get me
fucking dox myself.
please don't get
I
me
don't
suspended
care.
from Patreon. I don't want to have to pour kombucha all over myself to get off that night. You know what I'm saying? But look at this puppy. He's adorable puppy.
The gospel of puppies.
Gospel of puppies. So, anyway, back to piracy. Now that I've gotten all the gay for pupper out of my system, let's finish up this article, gentlemen, and then we can get back into our
Novel,
discussion.
bro. Doggo pics make a dark show unexpectedly wholesome.
See, I bet we even gained a sub from that. Somebody just was like, "There's dogs on YouTube." Anyway,
So is that all I have to do? Just run like a 24-hour stream of just like what my dog does all day?
yeah, while playing guitar in the background,
Dude,
naked.
you'd have 100,000 subscribers in a
Yeah.
month.
Yeah, while playing guitar naked, wearing only a sock over your junk, you play guitar naked behind your dog, with whatever they're doing. Unless they're biting at the sock, then you stop playing guitar. Maybe stop the camera.
I'd have to go buy some tube socks or something.
No, you don't. You can wear your ankle sock. It's fine.
Yeah, but see, what you don't know is I have massive testicles, so I'd have to like,
Oh, no,
get stretched around the testicles. I need the
breaking news on the Gospel of Comics. Ayrton's theme song is by AC/DC.
You got a lot of balls bringing that up here, man.
Testicular fortitude.
Unlike comic book Hut.
I mean, way to bring
it testy.
way to bring it back around. I like that. Anyway, let's get back into this article,
right.
boys. Anyway, so let's break down why these numbers displayed in the hit counters are probably complete bullshit, and the number of people who have been pirating comics is probably far lower and more in line with or lower than the percentages seen in other entertainment media. You remember when I brought up the movie and music industry? Hopefully that can help.
I vaguely remember that.
Hopefully that can help some people who are understandably stressed out about this whole thing relax a little bit. And this is where I start to see the heel turn of Jude Terror. Jude Terror isn't actually a bad guy. He's a good guy. Most sites rely on complex
to sound that way.
Most sites rely on complex analytic software from companies like Google to track people visiting their site. And important base metrics there include things like unique page views and unique visitors. The software looks to keep track of who is visiting the site so that, for example, the same person clicking on page 10 times can be accurately counted as a singular consumption of that content. Purveyors of reputable websites want to know the data because it helps them make business decisions. But a shady site posting a hit counter on their page only want to display the highest possible number in order to make themselves look more important than they actually are. which, I mean, we've seen dozens of times in the last 2 years. Mundane Matt bought his 100,000 sub count for his silver play button. I mean,
Yeah.
nobody can doubt that with the ratio of his active viewers versus his actual sub count, right?
Right.
Same thing with
And all those like reaction channels back in the day.
right. I mean, the only person with even close to user ratio to subscription count is somebody who's extremely popular, who's constantly getting banned, like Mr. Medicare or Ethan Ralph or Andy Worski. Somebody who has to keep jumping around a lot and has a following subscriber count of people who constantly consume their content. If Nick Rackett's got banned tomorrow, I guarantee his secondary channel would have 20,000 subscribers or more within 24 hours. Because that's how many people.
Instantly,
Right.
You know it.
Yeah, and that's how many people
Yeah.
follow and consume his content as opposed to people who click subscribe and then. I mean, even this channel is guilty of it. I have like 250 subscribers roughly, or followers, or what the fuck ever you call them. And we have an average viewer count of about 10 to 15 people. Which, don't get me wrong, I love those 10 to 15 people. I love those 250 people. But, I mean, the sub count means dick anymore.
Right.
Like, the amount of people subscribed to your
look,
channel means nothing. There are people that watch
But
my
you gotta
channel that are
realize,
not
too.
subscribed to it.
yeah, and look at
Yes.
what happened with Medicare when he was banned from YouTube, went to to stream.me.
Yeah.
Like, they crashed the site.
A couple of times. So,
Because they were just like, whoa, not this many people are supposed to be using our website so soon. We don't know what the fuck to do.
The amount of people viewing your stuff, and especially in comic books these days, like imagine if Cyberfrog went up on a pirated website, right? The people that downloaded it, 90% of them would be dissenters from anti-Comicsgate or anti-Ethan Van Sciver camps, and their whole game would be to make Ethan look bad. Like,
yeah,
I mean, and I'm not talking about one or two. I'm saying pretty much every single one of them would hate download it, and 90% of them would never read it in its fullness. Now, these are people that were never going to give him $1 anyway. So, what is he exactly out from them pirating his comic book? In fact,
absolutely nothing.
In fact, it could be argued that people that hate him, who never intended to buy his comic book, pirating his comic book and then commenting on it, is extending his reach to that person's audience. And maybe if one of them buys it, that piracy got him a sale.
Exactly.
Which is why any professional you see usually has very little to no problem with piracy. Because the thing is, as human beings, we're designed to support things that we enjoy. Click on that Patreon link, but some of you graciously did, and I am ever so thankful for it every single day. But
and should probably be tested for a variety of drugs. But
no, they shouldn't. Drug testing is just as bad as taxation. Those are the two original sins that were edited out of the Bible because of big government. But
because the Catholic Church,
taxation and drug testing, those are sins. Those are invasions of rights. But the people that support content, whether it's given away freely, sold, or whatever. I mean, how many people out there bought 8 copies of Cyberfrog? Like, not 8, but let's be real here. There were 1, 2, 3, 4 different variations of Cyberfrog put out on different campaigns. There are people that bought every one of them. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I've never needed 4 copies of the same comic book. I've owned 4 copies of the same comic book before because I was an idiot and couldn't remember what I owned.
Oh, I've done that just in the past couple trips to the comic book store.
Right? You know, a fucking backup copy or a second printing ends up in your pull box. You don't even think about it and you just buy it because. But the thing is like nobody needs 4 copies, but there are people out there who believe in the idea of Cyberfrog and Ethan Van Sciver so much they want to give him every dollar they possibly can while justifying it by buying a comic book.
Yeah.
And Matt, have you ever bought a base copy of a game and then gone back and bought a Game of the Year edition of it?
Oh, fucking rights. Oh,
So
dude, I bought then the Legendary Edition, then the fucking Game of the Year
right,
Edition, plus
and then
all the DLCs,
and the special
plus
edition,
everything
yeah,
associated with it.
the War Chest
You know,
Diablo edition or whatever.
Yeah, sure. You know, like it's that if you put out a good fucking product, people will buy it. They don't
And
want to pirate it. They want the
right,
real thing.
it's
Yeah,
just
and they will spend their money on it because it's good.
right.
Because it's good, and they feel that they've finally
Well,
got some fucking value out of something.
and to bring the allegory back around, it's just the same with comic books. Something like Mark Waid and Alex Ross's Kingdom Come. And as much as Mark Waid is a giant baby, and as much fun as we poke at him on this show, Kingdom Come is one of the most brilliant things that has his name attached to it. And I own all 4 double-sized, square-bound issues of Kingdom Come. I own a trade paperback copy of Kingdom Come. I own a hardbound copy of Kingdom Come. And I own the audiobook version of Kingdom Come, which is an audio drama. So I bought that fucking book in 4 different formats, and I actually bought my digital copy on Comixology.
There you go.
So
you
I'd
got
support
5
it
copies of the same book.
of the same fucking book, the same story. But you know what? I love that book so goddamn much, I'd buy it again if they put it out another way.
You know, it's no different. The medium might be different. You know, whether it's paper, whether it's a record like vinyl, whether it's a tape, whether it's a CD or a DVD,
Or a
it
laser
doesn't
disc.
matter. Or a laser disc,
Or
fucking
8
right.
track.
Or 8-track. It doesn't matter, right? Like I had fucking multiple copies. I had albums, tapes, and CDs from all of the same artists. Like just different media that
Oh,
it was
yeah.
on, and I paid for all of that shit.
Mm-hmm.
So you know what? Fuck you. I'm gonna download an MP3 of it because it's easier for me to carry. You know,
Right.
like,
I
you
mean,
know.
I have Led Zeppelin's discography, digital, vinyl, and CD.
Right.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
I
Hey, I
mean,
bought it fucking twice. I should be entitled to the fucking free digital fucking copy.
right.
Right.
Well, and that's the thing. Like, people will support things they love. And I think that just is exemplified in the fact that there are people out there that have fucking I mean, they bought digital copies of albums. I mean, look, Eminem. I mean, everybody's cashing in on it because it's a known fact. If you love something and it's obvious that there's either a nostalgia to it, we're not even going to get into the goddamn tweets, are we? It's fucking 30 minutes until Rackets goes
Probably
live.
not.
We haven't even finished this article yet. But this has been fantastic. I've just been drunk ranting this whole time. It's great. And I just want to clarify for the chat. We don't know if it was Comic Book Cuck or Rob Liefeld who disliked the stream. But it was one of them. I'm sure it was one of them. And,
most definitely.
And neither one of them are in the waiting room, even though I put the Discord link out there. You come on here, you fucking bitch. Whoever you were that disliked the stream. I won't even call him a bitch.
We
Like I just
we will go.
I would talk to them like a normal person. I'm not really even that wound up about it. I was just putting on my angry face. But
We will even go into Racket's time slot just to talk to
we
either one
will.
of you.
We will. We will give you your fair shake. I will put on my fairness hat. You can go at me. You can go at Ayrton. I'm not gonna I'm not gonna say what Ayrton has to abide by or anything, but
I'll
I won't dogpile in
I'll
on
just
you.
laugh, really.
I'll even mute him, and we'll even have a civil discussion if that's what you want. But you get your bitch ass on this fucking stream. Sorry, Matt. I didn't mean to just break the flow of everything, but no, just
Hey, brother, don't you worry. It's your show, pal.
I think the grand scheme of things is that we've all seen piracy in so many forms, and we've seen it from the days of the drummer from Metallica getting ass mad that people were downloading his music and more people were being exposed to Metallica than ever before, and just
Yeah.
completely ruining the reputation of one of the greatest bands of my childhood. And by the way, fuck you, Lars.
Yeah, I know.
But
Move.
but we've seen
Okay.
it evolve.
I'll be right back there, guys.
Take your time, buddy. But we've seen it evolve from the Metallica and Napster debacle all the way up to HBO coming out and saying that they were proud that Game of Thrones was the highest pirated show in network television history. They were proud of that. Now think about that evolution over the course of barely like 20 years, right?
Yeah.
Because I remember I got my first internet compatible computer 20 years ago. And, Napster was literally the first thing I fucking did. I was just like, I'm going to download all the fucking rap music I want to listen to. Fuck you, Dad. I'm going to listen to NWA because I'm a rebel. But, it's evolved from that to networks that are literally losing money in just viewer ratings, being proud of the fact that there are hundreds of thousands of people pirating their television show because they don't pay for cable anymore. That means that even though you won't pay your local service provider for cable, you still want to see HBO's Game of Thrones, which probably leads to you eventually downloading Hulu and the HBO add-on so you can watch Game of Thrones. I don't know, man. Like, I don't think, and EVS pretty much came to this conclusion. I had this whole fucking, like, I literally had, what is it? Eight damn links to kind of go through. But like I said, we're just not going to have time tonight. I didn't know that I would just go off like this, but it's been great. So I figured we just finish up. But yeah, you've been quiet. Like, what are your experiences with it? Go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, Novel Bro said in the chat, whoever disliked this video will have to deal with me. I will T-pose until they end up crying in a puddle of scat and tears. So, that's appreciated.
Dan's calling people out and shit too. I mean, I love you guys, and that actually leads me into and I guess what'll be the last part of the show tonight. But I wanted to say that of everything this year, obviously I'm thankful for my family. I'm thankful for the ability to provide for them, and I'm thankful for my children and my wife every day of the year. But outside of the obvious things and the most important things in my life, I'm thankful for you guys. I'm thankful that Ayrton shows up for the show every day, regardless of whether or not I've abused him entirely too much. I'm thankful of you guys showing up and supporting us and being just the best fucking chat that I could have ever expected to have. I'm thankful that I get to do something 3 to 4 nights a week that I never imagined that I would be able to do, and that people would actually listen to in perpetuity. Um, I'm thankful for all of that, and I'm thankful just for everything that you guys have done for us, and I'm thankful that we get to continue to do this for God knows however much longer.
Until we both die of liver failure.
Well, I mean,
Live on air.
well, I mean, if they pay for it, I had planned on cutting my drinking down a little bit in the new year so that I could get back into a little bit better shape. But I mean, if they pay for me to die of liver failure, by God, I'll do it.
New Patreon tier.
Yeah, the $50,000 life insurance policy for Church and every one of his kids. Drink myself to death live on air. I don't think they'll allow me to do that on Patreon. I think there's a clause against that, actually. Might have to go over to New Project 2 for that one. Hey, Dick, I want to add a $50,000 tier where I'll just drink myself to death live on air, and Patreon won't let me do it. No problem, buddy. I got you.
You have to let the payment clear first, though, folks.
Oh yeah, definitely. We'll just set a goal.
We'll set a Kickstarter.
Yeah, we'll do a GoFundMe that no, I got no plans on going anywhere. Fuck you guys, you're stuck with me. But no, I literally am thankful for you guys. This has been the best 8 months that I could have imagined having as far as being a quote unquote internet personality. Considering I thought I didn't have one when I started this, I was just like, Jesus Christ. But
it's like borderline personality disorder doesn't mean that you almost have a personality.
Well, what people don't understand is that you and I are actually the same person, and I just throw my voice and change it a little bit every time you talk.
It must be exhausting.
It is. But anyway, what are your thoughts on piracy? What are you thankful for? What are your Thanksgiving plans? All that good stuff.
Oh, I mean, I'm right there with you. The fact that these crazy fuckers come out every night and listen to us drunkenly bullshit for 2 hours is insane. And each and every one of you are awesome. But yeah, it's gonna be pretty quiet. My one sister's out in California right now. And the rest of my extended family is all over the damn country, so it's gonna be just a quiet, small thing tomorrow. I'm just gonna relax and chill for the day, not really do anything. But
well, I idiotically decided that since my my Thanksgiving plans that I initially had set up got completely and utterly just canceled. I was just like, "Wow, shit!" And I understand completely why they did. I'm not upset about it. I was just like, "Fuck," because I had very, very little planned. I think we were actually going to end up doing like Mexican Thanksgiving, where we just went and got Mexican food, and
fair.
That got canceled, and I was like, "Well, shit!" And then I got like really sentimental, and I was like, "Well, I want to make." One of my grandfather's and one of my dad's old recipes, and it really wouldn't be Thanksgiving without a turkey. So I ended up going to the fucking grocery store and spending like $130 on fucking Thanksgiving dinner because that's what you do when your plans get canceled.
I mean, that's really that's where grocery stores make all their money is Thanksgiving, right?
I mean,
I'm pretty sure.
I mean, maybe that's why retail went back to Black Friday on Thursday, trying to eat into that sweet, sweet fucking grocery money.
Retail's trying to attack big grocery.
That's right. But anyway, what are your before we close up the show, we got about 15 minutes left. You weren't very vocal on the piracy conversation. Where do you stand on it? What is your experience with piracy, and where do you stand with it?
I mean, as far as like straight up downloading stuff goes, it was mostly just like music and stuff back in the day, and maybe some questionable websites for watching movies that same sort of thing. Like, oh, I don't know if I want to go pay $12, $15 for a movie ticket, right? But
or $20-$30 for a DVD / Blu-ray,
right? So I mean, I get. I view it more as like, the same sort of thing, like a utility, like, give us a free trial,
Yeah.
Test the waters a little bit.
Well,
start walking in, you start to get to the net, it's a little bit cold, so, especially with Captain Marvel. But, I mean, overall, yeah, it sucks. I could see from like an artist's perspective, except for Hollywood, because they make way too much money.
Well, they spend way too much money on this shit, and they depend on people to buy movie tickets. Like, that's fucked up.
Like, I get the side that says like, hey, we worked hard on this. I'd like to have people pay for it, but at the same time, you have like David Gilmour, from the guitar player from Pink Floyd, his most recent solo album from 2015, he released the entire album on YouTube on his channel for free.
Yeah.
I mean, he did also retire this year, but but I listened to it, and I loved it, so I bought it. And I want to buy like the vinyl of it. The vinyl's a little bit expensive.
Well, let's just we've done this for like the last 15 shows, but I'm gonna have to do it again because it's so fitting, and I love it so much. I don't care. Dead air.
Uh-oh.
No, it's fine.
No, I was saying uh-oh to what we're doing.
Oh yeah.
What we do here is go back.
So, I have no idea what he's doing, folks.
I was playing the intro to Content Cop, but the intro to Content Cop is what we do here is go back, and it's just that rap beat.
Oh, okay.
But now that I've explained the joke, fuck you, it's not funny anymore. Let's go back to 2007 and a little band called Radiohead, who literally broke the music industry by releasing an album for quote unquote pay what you think it's worth.
Oh yeah, and that was a huge deal when that came out. People in the industry were furious about that.
I paid $150 for that album after I downloaded it for 2 cents.
Hey, and I mean, good on you. Band, not so much like Radiohead, but a lot of these other bands, the only way they make money is record sales, or not even from record sales, but from like touring.
Yeah.
And merch.
Right.
Like your band t-shirts and stuff like that. So, I mean, even some of the bigger bands, I don't think in 2007, though, I think Radiohead was pretty
they were pretty well off, yeah. Their light show was definitely impressive by them.
Yeah. But, some of the smaller bands, they don't make any money off of the, I don't know, how much does it, do they even sell CDs anymore?
I I've not been in a store that sold CDs in probably 2 years, so I don't know.
I mean, somebody let us know how much a CD costs at this point, but they probably
Probably $85, the same as a PS4 game.
But they're probably only seeing maybe 5%, if that, of that CD sale.
Well, I mean, you got to think like the music industry was broken from the get go because they gave you this massive advance that you probably weren't even going to make back on your first couple of albums. And you were basically their indentured servant until you paid them back their advance and made some money of your own to actually get more recording time.
Right. Well, yeah,
I mean,
that's
the
about the last 20, 30 years of the music industry.
The industry basically turned artists into slaves. Let's be real.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
what do you think Tupac and Biggie were really bucking against the system for before they started hating it? Honestly, and this is a whole nother stream, maybe not even a Gospel of Comics, but this is a whole nother discussion. But why do you think that it was so important for the industry to get Tupac and Biggie beefing with each other? Because they both had their eyes on what the industry was doing to them. Why do you think Suge Knight and Sean Combs made fucking those two hate each other?
Well, yeah, that's been that kind of theatrical, like, behind, quote unquote, behind the scenes performance thing that goes all the way back to at least the 30s or 40s.
But I mean, if you go back and you listen to early Tupac and early Biggie Smalls, those two guys, like, they knew that the industry was fuckery,
right?
And
I mean,
and that was some stuff that we're completely off base at this point.
We are.
But yeah, I mean, that's a different topic for a different night. But I would love to have this discussion with you at some point and record it and have massive amounts of alcohol with it. But
well, of course.
Anyway, piracy.
Yeah, it's a necessary evil.
I think that the grand scheme of what I wanted to get across in this show, if I was able to actually bring up some of the tweets, is there was this character who is an anti-comic skater, an anti-war campaigner named Vicky, and she's got like 8 accounts, and she just constantly spends her day shitting on Ethan Van Sciver because she's a childless cat lady, well, cat or dog lady, and she is just completely and utterly desperate for attention because
Probably cat lady, because dogs actually require like attention to take care of. So you can just sit there tweeting all day.
She has a dog as her profile picture, so you know it could be Matt's dog. She could have stolen that picture. But you know she started going at Ethan Van Sciver saying that piracy was the end all be all of comics. And that he just kind of replied to her, and he was like, yeah, people downloading my book and then coming to buy it because they liked it is the worst thing that ever happened. Definitely not the libraries buying one copy and letting thousands of people read it without paying for it. There's nothing different about those two things. Why should I be mad about one if I'm not the other? And she's like, well, one's legal and one's not. And I'm like, literally? That's your argument? Man, it's almost like prohibition worked, right?
Right. Oh, every single time.
It's almost like saying something's illegal makes people never want to do it again.
Right. That's been, if I was going to run for president, I would just ban crime.
If I ever got the opportunity to talk to this Vicky person, I would want to ask her 5 questions. Well, one question broken into 5 parts, I guess.
Vicky, pop in the Discord.
No, she doesn't have to be present. She doesn't have to be present for this. She can comment this. I don't want to talk to her. Her voice might give me cancer.
Oh, okay. All right, fair.
But all I need to know, Vicky, is when did the following wars take place? The Revolutionary War, the Civil War, World War I, World War II, and Vietnam. That's a deep cut for any dickheads out there listening. It's just a default thing I say to stupid bitches.
Oh, that's
You
fair.
know, I need to know. You got to vote in the chat here. But no, you have to have this response, because Dick Masterson said that some of the best replies ever come from that. Like, somebody thought Vietnam was in 1995. And the fact that I'm asking this on the internet and I'll probably still get wrong answers if anybody ever actually responds to me is fantastic. Like, I had a dude respond earlier with the right answers, and I'm like, you killed the meme, you asshole. But yeah, I'll even give you 30 years on the front or back end of that.
And that's a long time. I mean, I would give people within like 5 or 7 years. But
Yeah. What the fuck? I don't even understand.
uh-oh.
Oh, no. No, somebody thinks that voting registers you for jury duty, and that's not. It's having a license that registers you for jury duty. That's just also where you register to vote most of the time. But, Matt Christie might have some deep lore on Vicky that we might have to bring up on the next show.
Uh-oh.
But yeah, I've had a good time. I mean, we only got about 4 minutes before Rackets goes live, and if he's as late and gay as he was with his cooking stream, then you've got about 10 minutes. But I really have to go to the bathroom, and I don't want to let Chair Coon run the show, which is what I'm going to change your name to later. What are you talking about, Daniel? Every night's a drunk stream. No, drunk stream, it'll be after Thanksgiving. Remember I said after Thanksgiving. Before Christmas, after Thanksgiving. Yes. Sometime in December. Because I can't have a drunk stream on cheap liquor.
Right.
So.
It's going to go to that second shelf.
Yeah. No, I think, I don't know. I think, I did scotch. Did I do scotch or bourbon last time on the drunk stream? I had shots, right?
I think you did both.
Oh yeah, that was a bad idea. That's why I hated everything for a couple of days after that. That makes so much sense. And I think I might have had both. I think I might have had a shot of tequila earlier on that same day. That was probably bad too. Well, occasionally at the bar that I frequent, they have the house tequila and the house bourbon right side by side. And they'll occasionally fuck up and pour me a shot of tequila, and I won't realize it until one of their sober streams. Fuck you, Eric. We call those hangover streams. We're not quite sober, but
there's an idea. After the next drunk stream, that next morning, we should hop on for just like 20 minutes or a half hour.
Oh, yeah.
While we're hungover as fuck.
The gospel of coffee.
I'll be drinking just straight out of the pot.
Right, yeah, with a straw while it's piping hot. The straw's melting as you're trying to suck coffee through your gullet to shake off the massive headache that's building behind your eyeballs. I wouldn't know anything about any of that.
No, not at all. Never happened.
There's some down on the stream already. Yeah, I told you, Mr. Church, it was either comic book cuck or Rob Liefeld. Because they're massive bitches. I don't understand their problem. But the Discord link is out there if either one of them want to come on and explain what their fucking problem is. Besides, being massive bitches. But
do you think they have to buy like special underwear.
Testosterone? Yes.
No, special underwear that has enough room for like their massive vagina.
No. I think that someone really just needs to look deep inside their bull's girlfriend's bag and pull their balls back out, unscrew the glass jar, maybe put them in their own pocket, and leave that terrible situation. Because
That's probably true.
anybody that
if
just
Comic Book Hut asks nicely, I'll just give it to him. He doesn't even have to root through my backpack.
But yeah, in any event, I don't think there's any comments on the stream, so nobody's left their dissatisfaction. Nobody's messaged me. Nobody's taken up the Discord invite that I gave. So we're not gonna go long. But we are gonna get out of here. We will see you guys again Saturday. Go check out Rackets, and everyone, thank you again. Have a fantastic Thanksgiving, and we will see you again next time.
You as well. Good night, everybody.